Good evening, Parkland. Today is Friday, March 3rd, 2023. In this episode of Parkland Profile, we'll be covering the Scholastic Art Awards, learning about historical Black figures, and hearing from our winning esports team. I'm your host this evening, Brooke Miller, and Parkland Profile starts now. Here at Parkland, we take the arts very seriously. Starting in elementary school, you're taught the art of drawing, painting, pottery, and more. The outstanding art is rewarded. Here's Parkland High School art teacher, Mrs. Danner, with the 2023 Scholastic Art winners.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Danner, one of the art teachers here at the high school. Several of our art students have participated in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards recently, which is the nation's largest running recognition program for young artists. Parkland High School students did an amazing job, collectively receiving 21 gold keys, 25 silver keys, and 46 honorable mention awards.
Hi, my name is Angela Runyon, and I'm a senior, and I've submitted an art portfolio and 4 individual art pieces into the Scholastic Art Awards. I won a gold key for my portfolio and 3 gold keys for my individual art pieces. My art portfolio and pieces focus on interactions between humans and objects. So the gold key winners, they eventually get judged on a national level.
All gold key recipients are moving on to be judged on the national level. Entries are automatically considered for national awards including gold medals, silver medals with distinction, silver medals, and scholarship awards. Receiving a national award is a very special and prestigious event, with students being recognized among artists of their peers over the entire country.
Hi, my name is Raquel Grigoli. I won the Gold Key Award for my ceramics project, which is called The Nature of a Violin. I think of the violin as like very nature-like, so I decided to incorporate nature with my artistic appeal. I've been working on it since October, and I finished it in January.
The first piece I did was on Hotel Bethlehem, because I live around there, and it was like done with charcoal subtraction, which I thought was really cool, and I really enjoyed making that one. And the other piece I did, it was called Light Bulbs. I just think it was my best piece out of all my sustained investigation pieces thus far, so that's why I picked it.
Our students here have participated in the Eastern Central Region Scholastic Art Awards, which is one of the longest running and most prestigious art awards in the country. Starting this weekend, students have their work hanging in the Miller Gallery at Kutztown University and will be honored during a ceremony on March 5th.
Congratulations to all of our winners. What beautiful artwork that was. February is Black History Month. Here's the Black Student Union with some information honoring historical Black figures.
Hello Parkland, I'm Caitlin McLeod.
And I'm Victoria Janot.
And we're the co-presidents of the Black Student Union.
Today we're going to be talking about a lesser known but extremely important woman in Black history, Nanny of the Maroons.
She's an integral part of both Jamaican history as well as Jamaican folklore.
Her date of birth and overall age is a mystery, as there weren't any records kept at that time, but she lived around the 1700s during the British colonization of Jamaica.
She's primarily known for freeing enslaved people in the mountains of Jamaica, moving them to a safe maroon community known as Nanny Town at that time.
In this town, she taught the Jamaican Maroon soldiers guerrilla warfare so they could protect themselves in case the British found them.
And unfortunately, they did. The British found Nanny Town and claimed to have killed all the Maroon soldiers, as well as Nanny herself. Spoiler, they didn't.
He'd only forced them to relocate, most likely to Rio Grande elsewhere on the island. Cudjoe, another Maroon leader, later signed a peace treaty with the British.
Here's the thing. This treaty was said to be incredibly unfair. Essentially, the British allowed the Maroon community to have their own land, as long as they didn't accept any runaway slaves, which kind of defeated the point of Nanny Town. It's said that they still allowed runaways to this place, which was renamed New Nanny Town.
Today, the legacy of Nanny lives on. New Nanny Town is Moortown, and Nanny has a small waterfall named Nanny Falls in her memory.
She's also the face of the Jamaican $500 bill.
And that, my friends, is the history of Nanny of the Maroons.
We hope you learned something new, and we wish you all a happy Black History Month. Toodles! Hello again, Parkland. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Alicia. We are your BSU presidents. And today we are going to discuss a very important woman in African American and feminist history. Sojourner Truth.
Born in 1797, Sojourner Truth, born Isabella Baumfree, was an enslaved woman until 1826.
Soon after receiving her freedom, Truth underwent a religious awakening, becoming a devout Christian.
Later, in 1843, she became Methodist, leaving the city to tour the countryside, denouncing slavery. She later joined the Northampton Association of Education and Industry, a utopian community founded by abolitionists supporting women's rights, religious tolerance, and pacifism. Here she met with other civil rights leaders like Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison.
The association later disbanded in 1846, but Truth continued touring. In May 1851, she delivered her Ain't I a Woman speech at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention in Akron. It's one of the most influential and famous speeches in African American and feminist history.
Sojourner Truth spent the rest of her years fighting for social equality, getting the chance to meet U.S. presidents like Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant.
She died November 26, 1883. She memorialized around the country, naming the 1997 Mars NASA Pathfinder Sojourner an asteroid named Truth, and became the first Black woman memorialized with a bust in the U.S. Capitol.
And that, my friends, is the history of Sojourner Truth.
We hope you learned something new. Have a great day. Toodles!
February 14th was Valentine's Day. Whether you spent it with a significant other, friends, family, or by yourself, it's a fun day for everyone. But do you know the history behind the day? Here's news correspondent Ethan Silver with the history of Valentine's Day.
Hello, Parkland. I'm Ethan Silver. As you know, Valentine's Day passed just a few short weeks ago, so here is some insight on what it's all about. The exact history of Valentine's Day is unclear, but it is said that it originated when Emperor Claudius II executed a saint named Saint Valentine on February 14th, 270 AD. Some say that Valentine was a priest, while others claim that he was a bishop. Another rumor states that Valentine was killed for attempting to help Christians escape from harsh Roman prisons. Despite the uncertainty, the rumors agree on one thing: he was a heroic and romantic figure. By the Middle Ages, Valentine became one of the most popular saints in England and France. The first Valentine's Day was said to be celebrated in the year 496 AD. It's an early tradition that arose in a Roman festival called Lupercalia. It occurred in the middle of February, and it officially marks the beginning of spring. The holiday wasn't one of romance, however. Valentine's Day would only come to be celebrated as a romantic holiday around the 14th century. In the 14th and 15th centuries, the day became associated with romantic love, when notions of courtly love flourished, apparently by association with lovebirds of early spring. The first commercially printed Valentine cards emerged by the late 1700s. On Valentine's Day, most couples will share cards, letters, flowers, or presents. If you haven't met that special someone yet, that's all right. Bribe's newsletter recommends to go see a movie, host a singles-only dinner party, bake a cake, go on a trip with a friend or family member, plan a date with your best friend, and much, much more. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm Ethan Silver, and I hope you had a happy Valentine's Day, Parkland.
Thanks, Ethan. I never knew there was so much history behind Valentine's Day. March is National Women's History Month. Here's news correspondents Kira Finkel and Taryn Merrick with the history of women poets.
February is the month of love, and as we know, the best way to show that love is poems.
Kira, did you know that there are some fantastic women out there?
Of course.
And some of those women write poems. And some of those poems are about love.
Today, we're going to take a look at some of the most influential female writers and poets. I'm Kira Finkel.
And I'm Taryn Merrick. First up is Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was a poet who lived from 1928 to 2014. She wrote autobiographical works that explored themes of economic, racial, and sexual oppression, and they irrevocably impacted literature.
She inspired women of all nationalities with her powerful messages. She also accredited the beginning of her love for poetry to her hometown, Stamps, Arkansas, which she highlights in her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Even though her novels are world famous, they are not the only things she's known for. She was also a poet, a memoirist, and an actor. Many of her books were adapted into screenplays and films. Maya Angelou's works were incredibly important to the development of modern literature and to women around the world.
Jane Austen lived from 1775 to 1817. She was a figure in British literature. She wrote the works such as Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Emma. All three of these works of literature follow the relationships that all of the characters are experiencing. She published all of her works anonymously while she was alive, but it took until her death to get the credit she deserved.
Emily Dickinson lived from 1830 to 1866. She's one of the best and most well-known poets, having written poems such as Wild Night, If I Can Save Just One Heart from Breaking, Ah, Moon and Stars, and I Cannot Live With You. Between having an oppressive father and being a woman, society did not approve of her writing, so many of her works were not published until after she died of heart failure, when they were published and she got the recognition she duly deserved.
For Parkland TV Film, I'm Kira Finkel.
And I'm Taryn Merrick.
Thanks, girls. What amazing woman. Now that the temperatures are starting to get warmer, I know that we're all anxious for spring to arrive. A great way to pass that time is by skiing. Here's news correspondent Brent Harrison with a history of skiing.
As winter is coming to a close, so is the ski and snowboard season. There are an estimated 125 million skiers and snowboarders globally. But how did these popular sports begin, and how have they evolved over time? I'm Bryn Harrison, and this is the history of skiing and snowboarding. The first evidence of skiing dates back to 6000 BCE in Russia, and remnants have also been found in China. For reference, the wheel was not invented until around 4000 BCE. These primitive skis, also the oldest skis found to date, were made with split spruce trees wrapped in dried horse skins. They also had elk head carved on one end that functioned as a brake that looked like this. Now fast forward a few hundred years to the 18th century in Telemark, Norway. Skiing has now begun to take recreational form. This caused the creation of cambered skis, which floated more easily over soft snow and flexed much better, dramatically improving shock absorption and easy turning. In 1861, alpine ski racing began as an organized sport in America and Norway. In 1936, skiing was finally introduced to the Winter Olympics. These events included combined downhill slalom, giant slalom, and Super G skiing. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about snowboarding. Snowboarding didn't begin until 1965 in Michigan, much later than skiing. It was intended to be a combination of skateboarding, sledding, surfing, and skiing. It was originally called snurfing for snow surfing, but I'm glad they changed the name over time. However, snowboarding wasn't introduced to the Olympics until 1998. The most recent Winter Olympics was in 2022 in Beijing, China. It included 109 different events across 7 sports, with skiing and snowboarding counting as one of those sports. One of the most popular events for them was the slopestyle. Slopestyle is a downhill course including a variety of obstacles including rails, jumps, and other terrain park features. Points are scored for amplitude, originality, and quality of tricks. The competitors are given a point score between 1 and 100 with 3 runs. Competitors with the best run out of any 3 runs are the winner. For men's skiing slopestyle, gold medal winner Alexander Hall begins his first run with some variety of technical rail work and a lot of creativity on the jumps, including a stop mid-rotation that proved to be very impressive, and landing him a score of 90.01. He also was the only competitor to get a score in the 90s, which secured him a guaranteed position in the top 3. In his second run, he decided to reach even higher and go for even more difficult tricks, as well as getting another mid-rotation stop. He ended his second round with an 86.38. Run 3 ended up being more messy than the previous 2, with a mistake on the second rail and the decision to take it easy on the rest of the run. He ended up with a much lower score of 31.41, but his first run allowed him to take home the gold. In men's snowboarding slopestyle, gold was taken home by Max Perot. His first run started out really strong with some interesting jumps and really set the bar high for the rest of the competitors with a 4.5 rotations on the last jump. He's given a 79.86. Perot's second run is a bit similar to his previous one, but he uses it to show off as well as clean up some mistakes from his previous run. He got an impressive score of 90.96, which ended up being the winning score. The third run is very simple and used a leisurely ride through the course consisting of low-value jumps and simple tricks. This run gave him a score of 36.56. These sports have evolved in many ways over the past centuries, and they will continue to change. For now, let's just enjoy the time we have left in this year's season.
Thanks, Bryn. That makes me want to grab my skis and head over to the slopes. Another great way to pass the time inside is by playing games. And here at Parkland, our esports team does just that, and they do it well. Recently, they won the League of Legends tournament. Here's what the team has to say about their win.
Your name and grade?
My name is Moog Bhatti. I am in 10th grade.
Arlu Shilling-Askew, grade 12. been your team's most recent accomplishment?
Most recent accomplishment, we won states in Rocket League.
Winning our Rocket League team won state championships at PHSEL.
How do you feel about the recent win?
I was pretty proud of our team, pretty happy to see it.
What strategy did you use to win?
We just practiced teamwork, that's all it took.
What strategy did you use to win?
I would ask the players, I'm just the coordinator. By trusting the right people. I mean, it's certainly nice to be able to do something for a lot of kids. I mean, I know it's really great to have a group of students over 100 strong, and be able to put them towards common use. It's a really cool feeling to be able to unite everyone under a common flag.
How do you plan to win in the future?
Probably just the same thing, be consistent with our practices, work as a team, and that's all.
I would say trusting the right people. I'm not overconfident enough to admit that, or to even claim that I know everything, because I don't. I play fighting games, that's all I really do. So, but by putting trustworthy, competent people in charge of different teams and different games, such as in Rocket League, we put good people there, where I don't have to know their strategy. I can trust and I can just give them leadership when needed, that they're going to do the right things. And obviously, we just won a states, so it looks like the strategy is working.
What do you like about the team? What's a positive?
Positive about the team? I like, it feels good to be kind of part of this team, all working together as one thing, accomplishing these goals.
What are your recommendations to new players who are taking place next year as starters in order to be successful?
Play a bit on your own, get a feel for the game, talk to your team, really make sure you are communicating with them, be timely, have a good attitude.
How long have you been playing for?
I've been on the team for 2 years. I've been playing video games for a very long time, maybe 7, 8 years.
I mean, I already said it before, but community, really. You're taking so many kids that, some of them do other stuff out of school, but a lot of them, it's kind of like what they do, it's kind of their thing. So to be able to, again, like I said, unite them under a common flag, it's a really, it's a cool feeling to know that I'm helping out in that type of way.
What is the best advice you would give to incoming players or new players on the team?
I guess what I'd say is know your place. I mean, it sounds harsh, but we got a lot of good players. We got a lot of people trying to make an impact. You have a lot of kids coming in with egos that think that they're much more than they are. And it's extremely disadvantageous to deal with. It's disadvantageous to come in with that mindset. Because at the end of the day, it's nice to win, but it's really about personal growth. It's about, being part of something bigger than yourself, right? But if you change that mindset from an I to a we, right? I know I discussed earlier about the greatest thing about this being trust, right? If you can change that mindset, you'll be such a more useful asset, and you will almost certainly get a lot more starting time, a lot more time to go on, field trips and get to play in tournaments, stuff like that. They wouldn't even play with other people when they started, right? Because they didn't trust other people enough. So to be able to take them from where they were into queuing up with 4 other people that they may have only known for 6 months, and having confidence that they'll do what they're told or their job for their position, it's cool to see that level of personal growth between people.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Congratulations again to the esports team. The Parkland TV staff also competes in competitions. This March we'll be traveling to Long Beach, California to compete in the Student Television Network convention. One of the contests is the Crazy 8s contest, where you have 8 hours to record and edit a morning show that's similar to this, just in a lot less time. Recently we did a run-through in preparation of the contest. Here's host Luca Patton and Tara Merrick with the special edition of Parkland Profile.
We're here at Parkland High School with the long-lived history of art, sports, and more. Today's show will be covering sporting traditions with Mr. Roberts, taking a look behind the scenes of the annual Mr. Parkland competition, and highlighting Parkland musical ensembles. Hello STN, I'm Taryn Merrick.
And I'm Luca Patton. Welcome back to a special edition of Parkland Profile.
With a 200-member band and a 100-member orchestra who perform at events throughout the community, we here at Parkland pride ourselves on getting everyone who wants to be involved in the arts.
One of my favorite things to do at a football game is watch our marching band perform live. Here's news correspondent Mac Yeager with orchestra and band directors Mr. Mishler and Mr. LaRue with more information on the passion behind the music.
I'm news correspondent Mac Yeager. At Parkland High School, we have a rich tradition in music. Here's a look at the band and orchestra to see what it's about.
Hi, my name is Brian Mishler. I'm the high school orchestra director, and I also teach 2 sections of Piano 1. So this program has been here a great number of years and is very well established both throughout the community and the state. This year, my favorite part is watching the beginners play and develop and grow each day, and look forward to them joining us and continuing to grow the program.
I just really enjoy, playing with other people with similar passions as me, really kind of just feeling the music, moving along with it, and just, having a good experience. I've built relationships, I've known my friends from orchestra for years now, and just being able to play with them, play through the numerous scales, sound innovation exercises, repertoire with them, it's just a fun experience and tradition over the years.
Band gives students the opportunity to perform in front of literally thousands of people. The marching band here at Parkland goes back into the early 1950s, and the style has changed, but the basic concept is still the same. Well, here at Parkland, we've had band for a long time, and it has a rich history of doing well at competitions, have students go on to state and national level festivals. So we have a tradition of excellence here in the band.
With a few years of mediocre alto sax beneath my belt, I sure think that music sounds amazing.
That's right, Taryn. I can't imagine playing an instrument, let alone rain or shine, like our marching band does. Speaking of rain or shine, let's hear from our favorite weatherman, Ethan Earthquake, with the weather.
Good morning, STN. This is Ethan Earthquake Silver here with today's weather report. Today will be a foggy day. The high will be 63 and the low will be 36. Tomorrow will be slightly colder with a high of 54 and a low of 21. Looking into next week, we can expect more cold temperatures and cloudy skies. Hopefully the weather is better in Long Beach. And that's it for today's forecast. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ethan. What Pennsylvania average weather? Bad weather for the beach, but perfect weather for Parkland's favorite pastime, sports.
That's right. Sports announcers bring us the key details while we enjoy the game. Let's hear from the man behind the voice. But first, a quick message from the Leo Club about their fundraiser, the Duck Race.
Parkland High School, the PHS Leo Club's annual Duck Race is back. We are going to be holding our event this year on May 6th. And it's going to be held at Wares Dam Covered Bridge Park, where we take hundreds of rubber ducks and we dump them into the river and they'll float down the creek. You can purchase one of the ducks in the race by buying a ticket, and you can get this from any Leo Club member. They are $10 a ticket and it has a number on it. That number will correspond to your duck, which along with hundreds of other ducks will all get dumped in the river. And as they float down, if your duck comes across first, you'll win $1,000 cash prize. We have $250 for the second place winner, $100 for the third place winner, and after all the ducks have crossed, if yours is the sad little last duck, you still get $50. So we have lots of cash prizes.
Quack. We interviewed Mr. Roberts on why he's the Parkland announcer, his most memorable game, and his connection with the players and coaches.
What I found was no one wants to announce, no one wants the microphone. I probably announced 3 sports for reasons because they can't get anyone else to do it. So they always joke with me that I'm on a year-by-year contract, and every year they seem to renew it. For many, it's not the most comfortable thing to have to announce the games and everything else that goes along with it, and it could be pretty fast-paced. Really, I got the job because the previous announcers had retired and they couldn't find anyone else, and they were like, "Hey, Roberts, you don't mind talking. How about trying this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Wouldn't mind staying after." And it's a good connection to the kids and the coaches, and I enjoy doing it.
Every day, about 8 teens die in a car accident. Hundreds more are injured due to unsafe and dangerous driving. Studies show that taking a driving education course can lower the risk of teen deaths in car crashes by over 3%. Driving education assists in high-pressure situations and gives students confidence in their skills when conditions are dangerous. 50% of teens killed in accidents were not wearing seatbelts. With lessons about driving safety, these statistics could change for the better. If you are a new driver, get behind a textbook before you get behind the wheel.
Parkland is full of talent, which is illustrated every year in the senior classes show, Mr. Parkland.
Nolan Montez gives us a look at how it's evolved over the years.
I'm news correspondent Nolan Montez. Every year, Parkland holds Mr. Parkland, a competition that showcases the talents of the young men of the senior class. Let's take a glimpse behind the curtain at one of Parkland's most impressive shows.
So I have been doing Mr. Parkland since
2010, I believe, was the first season that I did this. I am the choreographer. So Mr. Parkland is a talent competition. It's kind of supposed to be like a spoof of Miss America. So there is an opening number, and there is a Hawaiian competition, and then there's a formal wear competition. But all of those, instead of it just being their looks and their appearance, it's their dancing ability and their way to have fun on the stage and show that side of them. So as the choreographer, I choreograph all of those numbers for the guys over a period of a couple weeks. And the last couple years have taken on a much bigger role in kind of running the whole show. I had no idea what I was doing with it, but we pulled it together and at the end had this really cool show to give to the student body. But I think more than anything, it's just a unique event. You know, it's not like a theater production. It's not an athletic production. It's just a combination of all of that. And I really do think between last year's group and this year's group, you know, they've done a great job of keeping this tradition alive and keeping it going while adjusting, you know, to the times and making sure that we're making changes based on how times have changed.
I just felt like it was something I wanted to do as well. It feels like an accomplishment to find, like, I never thought I would have actually done it, you know?
Thanks, Nolan, for a look behind the scenes at all the work that goes into making Mr. Parkland happen.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's easy having 10 plus teenagers synchronize dance. That's all for today's show. Signing off, I'm Taryn Merrick.
And I'm Luca Pettin. Thanks for watching, STN.
That's all for tonight's episode. Tune in next month for the next edition of Parkland Profile. Signing off, I'm Brooke Miller. Have a great evening, Parkland.